What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie298 coming at you live once again through the power of the internet. And this is my rambling videos. This is my vlogging videos where I just talk about life and the universe and things around me and things that are particularly interesting to me. And a lot of stuff I want to talk to you about a little bit this weekend. I want to talk about the vacation I just took. I want to talk about my health. I want to talk about an emergency room visit I took and a few other odds and ends things here. For those of you who don't know, the reason I didn't upload very many videos last week, I only uploaded one. It was my Loot Crate unboxing, which is contractually obligated, but also one of my favorite videos to make. It's because I just took the week off. And the reason I did it is because about once a year, we tend to go home and spend about a week with my wife's family, my in-laws, who it's a huge family, and I love spending time with them. And for the last 2 years, we've actually rented a cabin off of a lake in a town called Autrain, which is in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. And we spent 6 days there, 6 nights there with her family, and we took Sammy. And this year I wasn't really able to swim in the lake because of the surgery wounds. I wasn't really able to participate much because of the dizziness and the dehydration and stuff. But it was wonderful. It was actually very recovering for me. Not to say that the trip was definitely fraught with some real peril, but for the most part, I feel so much better having come home. I really think there must be some truth to the whole fresh air and relaxed environment and that kind of thing, because I really do feel so much better after that week. I think a lot of it also had to do with the fact that I didn't worry about YouTube and I didn't worry about Twitch and I didn't worry about everything. I did pack a laptop in case I had to work from there, and I had intentions of making at least one vlog while I was there, but in the end, I decided to just focus on my health and focus on my family and just focus on maybe having a little bit of fun. And I did, and I have some good stories and some bad stories about it. The first of which is we were supposed to leave on Friday morning to go to get up there, and our first night in the cabin would have been Saturday night. It's a 14-hour drive to drive up there, and I'm still so big, it's difficult to fly. It's expensive to fly. But the problem was I was so dizzy Thursday and Friday night, and if you follow me on Twitter, you know about this. I was so dizzy that I couldn't walk a straight line. I couldn't stand up. I couldn't roll over in bed. I was vomiting tremendously, and all of this is, of course, because of the surgery. And what we figured out that it was dehydration. I'm supposed to be taking in at least 64 ounces of water every day. The problem is my stomach is so small, I just can't do that yet. I have to train my stomach to accept more water and just over a period of time be able to get that. But the problem is I'm so much bigger than that. My water needs are actually probably way higher than that. And since I've had some issues with indigestion and diarrhea and vomiting and stuff like that, I was definitely dehydrated. So we called into my surgeon's office and asked him what we should do, and they said to maybe go to the emergency room or try to, in the morning, go into the infusion center and have them give me a couple of pints of water intravenously, a saline, not water, but saline. But the problem was that Friday morning, we planned to go to the infusion center, get that done, and then head out on the road. As soon as we walked in, they took my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was an astronomical number. Now, keep in mind, your blood pressure is supposed to be 120 over 80. My blood pressure was way higher than that. I'm going to say a number here. It might not be exactly accurate. I think it was 210 over 110. It was bad enough to where they sent me directly to the emergency room. So instead of leaving that night, even though we had a car packed and everything, and Sammy had taken his meds and everything, we ended up having to sit in the ER for the next 6 hours as they tried to get my blood pressure down, which it did come down naturally. And they did finally give me a little bit of water intravenously. They gave me, I think, a liter or whatever to try to get me to be less dehydrated. And it did help. It did help quite a bit. The doctor wasn't really sure why my blood pressure was so high, but he did recommend I go back on my blood pressure medications. And if you guys don't remember, 2 weeks ago, we went into a clinic and my blood pressure was so low, they took me off of my blood pressure medications. My blood pressure, and again, I'm just quoting a number that I remember. My wife said it was lower than this. I don't think it can be lower than this, but my blood pressure was 80 over 40. And the nurse is like, it's surprising you're conscious right now. How are you able to stand up and walk around? I don't know. Well, you need to stop those medications. So I've done a little bit of research, and I started talking to other people in support groups who have gotten the surgery done. And here's what I found out. I have now lost about 90 pounds in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. Last 2 months, I've lost about 90 pounds. The problem is my body's not aware or fully able to comprehend or understand that. So my heart is still beating just as hard as it was at 535. It's now beating in a body that is only 447 pounds. but it thinks I'm still 535. And one technician there, or I think it was a nurse, said, I learned in school that for every pound of adipose you have like 1 mile of capillaries and vascular system that disappears for every mile of adipose you lose. And I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's just some figure he took off the top of his head. But it does explain that there's probably dehydration turns your blood into sludge to begin with. Then I do have blood sugar problems, even though my blood sugar has been correct every time we checked it for the last month. But that's still a possibility. But then, my heart just probably is not adjusted to the thing. So we're back on my blood pressure medication, and we'll get it readjusted when I see my surgeon and my doctor here in a couple of weeks. But after getting my blood pressure regulated again, I can tell you I feel so much better. I was able to take in a lot more water, so now I'm up to like 40, 50 ounces of water a day. That number is increasing every day. I've learned to just sip every 5 or 6 minutes. I probably will still need to hit the infusion center a few more times. It seems like everybody my size who gets the surgery does. But I was able to travel up north. Now, I will tell you, when we first got into the car, I didn't think I was going to be able to make it. I really didn't think I was going to be able to do it. The first couple hours, I kind of slept in the car, but I was in a lot of physical pain. And my butt is so sore because it doesn't have the padding it used to have. And, the seat was making my butt sore. My back was hurting. My knees were hurting. But more importantly, I was still so dizzy, even after getting a little bit of water in, that, normally a car is driving straight down the road. It felt like I was on a circus ride, a teacup ride. It felt like the car was spinning. And I was just like, I'm going to start projectile vomiting at any point, which is not something I can do anymore with this tiny stomach. It's more like a spit up, like a baby spit up when I do vomit. But I had 2 hours in, I had a panic attack, and I'm like, honey, you just have to pull over and let me out. It's just like, Steve, I'll take you home. I'm like, no, I can't go home right now. You're going to have to leave me here in a hotel, and my roommate or friends are going to have to come and get me because I can't do this. She's like, well, I'll take you home. I'm like, no, if you're going to take me home, I'd rather just stay with you and try to, go up north. She's like, well, we'll both go home. No, I don't want to do that. I don't want to ruin your vacation. So I used all of my calming techniques and all the stuff I learned to deal with the anxiety disorder and stuff like that. And eventually was able to just endure the trip up. The trip back home was nowhere near as bad, though. I will tell you, I don't know if it was the fresh air. I don't know if it was the relaxation. I don't know if it was the friends. I don't know if it was the fact that I got my calories up to closer to 800-900 calories a day. I don't know if it's my water intake. I don't know what it is, or maybe just the natural course of things. But I feel like I'm probably ready to get back to things. I'm going to try to make at least 2 or 3 videos a week, but hopefully more. Get back to 3 or 4. I'm going to try to get back to 3 or 4 streams a night a week. And I'm feeling more like myself. I'm able to concentrate more. I'm able to relax more. I'm able to think more clearly, and I'm feeling a lot better. Plus, I look a lot better. I'm wearing a new shirt here. This shirt actually was a gift from Internet Common Etiquette. If you're familiar with him on YouTube, he's one of my favorite YouTubers. This is one of the shirts he sells. They sent me a care package of a bunch of new shirts because now I'm finally down into 6X and 5X shirts. So I know it may be a little offensive to some of you, but I love his edgy sense of humor. So hope it doesn't get my video flagged. Not like most of my videos are flagged at this point. I am appealing them, but all of Francis videos are just flagged over and over and over again. At least these newer videos about the surgery stuff have not been flagged. So YouTube, please don't flag this one. I have a mortgage, and I really want to pay it. So thank you. But I think we finally turned the corner. And I think spending that week with the family and spending the week in the fresh air in the cabin by the lake and enjoying some new foods and enjoying some friendship and enjoying seeing my friend Kevin and one of my moderators from Twitch and a friend for the past couple of years, and just playing some video games and spending some time with the wife and just not worrying about being sick or anything else has really helped. Plus, medication, the blood pressure medication, I think is probably the biggest aspect here. I think that's what was causing a lot of the dizziness, a lot of the not feeling like myself, a lot of the misery. So now that my blood pressure is where it's supposed to be, I think that's probably most of it. But who knows? It could be any of that hokey stuff as well. But I will tell you, I think at this point in my recovery, we're at soft food stage, which basically means any food that you can kind of mash with a fork, I did try some dangerous foods while I was up there. It was a lot of social eating, and I ate most of the same stuff that everybody else was eating. If they were having potato salad, I had a little potato salad. If they had a little bit of watermelon, I had a little bit of watermelon. Mostly healthy foods. There were 2 instances that I I decided I would try something new. So I did try pulled pork the night we arrived there. And my body said, no, it's just too tough. I'm not ready for it. It was the first food that I had that my body said, no, do not eat this. And it was kind of like swallowing daggers. It was like swallowing razor blades. I could feel it in my stomach, and it was miserable, and I hated it. And I only got one bite of it, and my body said, no, do not eat this. So that was good. I know what that feels like, and so I know which foods to avoid and which foods to not avoid. And then on the Friday before we left, or the Saturday before we left, everyone was having this stuffed chicken breast, along with, I think mac and cheese was the side, or potato salad was the side. I had a bit of the side. My mother-in-law, God love her, they're the ones who paid for the cabin, by the way. Thank you very much if you guys see this. It was so wonderful getting to spend time with the family. My mother-in-law, God bless, she made sure there was always soft foods that I could eat. And she also made a dessert for every meal that I would be able to eat, generally made of Jell-O, which is, on my approved food list, and fruit, which is on my approved food list. So I was getting some protein in there, and it was so wonderful that she did that. So I always had something to eat at every meal. It made it wonderful. But on the final day, everybody was having chicken breast, and it was stuffed chicken breast. And I knew that I could eat the stuffing out of it, so I took a half a slice of it and ate that, and then I did take one bite of chicken. And I did discover, again, chicken is not where I should be at right now. It seemed very soft. I've eaten chicken salad. I've eaten tuna salad, so I thought this would happen. Nope. It was the second and only time I found a food that my body's not ready for. So another week from now, I should be able to tolerate those foods. I now know what it means to not be able to tolerate them. And I've learned a technique to finally get a little bit of water in. So as far as recovery comes, I think I'm probably about 60 or 70% of the way there. I'm still pretty exhausted, and I'm still a little out of it. And I'm still just kind of tired all the time. And my stomach hurts all the time. But that makes sense because they did just rip it apart 5 weeks ago. But I'm getting used to it. I'm getting used to that feeling. I'm getting used to working around it. I'm getting used to getting my nutrition in and getting used to getting my water in. And I think in the next week or two, I'm just going to be the new me, whatever that means, with the smaller stomach and the different taste for foods. And I'm just going to continue to shrink at a rapid rate. I was 535 3 weeks before surgery, 492 the day of surgery, 447 today. I've got a few more days till the anniversary of the surgery, so 2 more days. So it might be 445 or maybe 442. That'll mean 50 pounds lost in 5 weeks, which is unreasonable. No wonder my body aches. No wonder my butt hurts. No wonder my heart doesn't know what to do. But what a good problem to have. So, guys, I am going to go relax with the wife a little bit, get a little bit caught up on TV shows that I missed while we were gone. Latest Game of Thrones was fantastic, by the way. Season finale was fantastic, though. Going to go watch Rick and Morty and just chill. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. I love you very much, and I'll speak with you again soon. And don't worry, I'll let you go next week. I'll keep you updated.